Welcome back to The Great Tribulation, a podcast from professing Christians. This is Lisa. Today is May 3rd, 2025. So let's talk about some stuff today. Few things that I want to cover. First of all, I do want to say that I do have another podcast called Professing Christians. That is my podcast. I put that one on hiatus because I was getting more views, listens, whatever, on this one. The title is The Great Tribulation. So I want to keep both podcasts going. The reason is not for recognition for me. I'm a nobody. I am just a servant of the Most High, God, Jesus, through the Holy Spirit. I'm a nobody, but I am trying to give God glory, number one, and I'm trying to, in essence, ring the church bells. Trying to, like an alarm clock going off in the morning. Time to get up. Time to face the day. So that's what all of these channels, don't really like that word, but that's what all these, let's call them shows, are about. So I have, and I'm sorry if you hear the clicking. My phone started doing the click when I tap. I have to, for now, use my phone to do this because I have to sit in a park for the internet for service. So, pardon the clicking. It's me hitting pause. I think I have 4 shows. I'm going to call them shows because I don't like the word channel. Like I'm not a medium. I'm not a, you know what I mean? I'm not channeling anything. I'm putting on it's not really a show because I'm not putting on a show either. I'm not pretending. I don't like the word program. Why does everything have to have those words? I'm not programming anybody. I chose Acast to do my podcast. And so I have Professing Christians, and then I have The Great Tribulation by Professing Christians, which, as I said, was getting more listens. And I want to get the word out there. This is my main goal, is to be a servant, to get the word out there, to let people know the time in which we are living. It's so important to talk about this. It's so important to talk about this. Okay? I also have a YouTube channel at Professing Christians, and I've done, I think, 4 very short videos. I took everything else I had on there down. I did have some stuff on there that was related to the way I used to look at the world, as if we were entering into the Great Tribulation. We were looking for an antichrist. We were, all these things we were looking for to happen in our generation 2,000 years after everything went down. Like, everything happened when Jesus said it was going to happen. It happened. He didn't just go there and say, all right, someday this is going to happen. So you don't have to take anything serious. And then they all were martyred willingly. I mean, come on. So I have the YouTube channel, Professing Christians. And then I have the WordPress blog, Professing Christians. And that, I believe, I think you find that by professingchristians.wordpress.com. There's going to be a couple of ads on there, which I don't sponsor those ads. I don't put those ads on there. There's probably something about corns on your feet or something gross. I don't have anything to do with those ads. I don't make any money off of this. I don't want any money off of this. My reward is in heaven. But getting back to so those are the 4 places, and I don't post very often. Life is busy. I'm in the process of getting my 5th wheel out of my son's yard. And since I just moved to Washington, I went, I used to live in a 4-bedroom house. It wasn't a mansion. It wasn't a big house, but 4-bedroom, 2-bath house, double car, garage, suburbia, nice house. And then, like, I've lived in so many places. I've lived in a townhouse, apartment, I think 2 townhouses actually. I lived in a camper before, travel trailer. I lived in one of them cubic, not a cubic mini, storage mini. What do you call them? Office mini, mini mobile mini. I knew I'd get there. Those little office trailers you set up on job sites. I lived in one of those. At an airport. So that was fun. I lived in a tiny home. It was a tough shed converted to a tiny home with a tall peaked roof and skylights. Really cute. Yeah, I've lived in, gee whiz, like houses for the most part. But when I left the tiny home, tough shed cabin in Arizona, I came here, got a 5th wheel. And now in a few days, that is going to be moved on to my 3 acres on a creek in Washington in the woods. I'm ecstatic. I'm so happy about this. It's like I feel like I have come through hell, like the path through hell, like, you know what I'm saying? Well, basically, we're living in the little season where Satan gets to deceive everybody. So we are all on this little hell path on God's earth. You know what I'm saying? And Jesus is king, but he has allowed this time for the rest of the dead. Read Revelation 20. The rest of the dead lived again during the time of deception. That's not my words. That's not my words. The famous saying right now is you can't debunk the little season. And so I went through this path through hell, not literal hell, of course, but I went through 21 years of crap. Like so much sludge thrown at me. And all of us have hard times. I'm not looking for sympathy. We all have hard times. Except, you know what? I for a while there, I was actually going to Liberty University for a master's in Christian counseling because I was working with foster kids. And I had to basically know how to counsel kids and parents for like reunification efforts and things like that. Crazy story. I don't know how I ended up there. I did that for about 3 years, just under 3 years. But yeah. So I was actually studying to be a Christian counselor at Liberty University. I'm so sorry. I can't remember what I was saying about that. You know what threw me off? I'll just be honest. What threw me off is I was like, I was pursuing a master's. I was throwing out some prideful stuff there, and I deserve right now to have lost my train of thought. I deserve it. Okay. All right. So, but we need to discuss the little season. We have to discuss this. And I want to go back, and I wanted to comment on a comment that was on a channel that I watch of someone who does talk about the little season. And I think I brought this up in the last podcast. He wants to take a break from talking about the little season. You might know who I'm talking about. This subject is not about him. He wants to take a break from talking about it. Like, the wolves are coming out of the woods and going after high profile people who are exposing the deception. There was a comment on one of his latest videos, because he was saying, I'm not going to be talking much about the little season right now. And a person commented on there, and I think it was a lady, and she said, I appreciate your channel and all this other stuff, but we can't stop talking about the little season because it feels like we're going backwards. Like, almost like retreating from the truth. She didn't say that, but that's what I got. Like, and I know that is not what he's intending to do, by no means. But I appreciate, yeah, let's take a break and let's watch and see where all of these wolves take this, and let's not give them further ammunition. But I don't think we should stop talking about the little season. I really don't. And I know I've covered this before, but I feel strongly about it. We should not stop talking about the truth of the day and time that we're living in, that God has us in for a reason. We're in this season, you guessed it, for a reason. By going backwards, are we saying that we are in control of where God is taking this awakening? And how many times can we wake up? Honestly, the woke, the wake, the wakened, waking up. It's a continuous process. This period of time that we're in, we don't know how long it's going to go. The Great Tribulation happened, and then Jesus set up his reign on earth. But what was going on during the tribulation? Wasn't there a lot of deception going on? During that time, there was a lot of deception, because look at Nero. If he was the Antichrist, I think he was. Like, that's all the arrows point to Nero. I mean, it seems to me that he had to have been deceived, or maybe he was just evil. Maybe he was the true starter of the, like, secret societies and stuff like that. Possibly. Who knows? It was so long ago. So we had the Great Tribulation. Was it 3.5 years? Was it 7 years? I don't claim to know all these things. Like, I'm not an expert in this. I just want to give more insight if I can. Just get us all something to think about, because the more we think about this, the more we talk about this, the Lord has shown me, the more that we think about and talk about the little season, the Bible, the scriptures, what he's trying to tell us, what others know they can share. I mean, we all need to be sharing. what we know. And that brings me to my last point. The reason we have to talk about this is because we need to dethrone the newsmakers, the mass of the newsmakers in the media. We have just as strong of a voice as they do. They are part of the network web of the deception. We don't have to listen to them. First of all, why are we listening to them? Okay, the only reason I can see where we might want to listen to anything that is being put out there in the news is that so that we can see their trajectory, where they're taking us, where are they trying to take us. When anything we're watching should have a raised eyebrow, like, okay, I'm suspicious. I am deeply suspicious of anyone with a platform. I myself can be deceived. Does anybody with a platform have evil intent? No, of course not. Do a lot of them have evil intent? Yes, especially the mass news outlets of media. Those that are in the mainstream. They've all been bought and paid for, money and souls. All comes at a cost. So that's my last point about all of this is we are the news. A guy said that, I think it was on God Rules, the YouTube channel God, was it him? The guy who said it was my lunchbox in his latest video. He's got some interesting stuff. Interesting. He's right though. We are the news. We are. Like you can turn on NBC, ABC, CBS, Fox, whatever. You can turn those on and what's dribbling out of their paid for sold out mouths only has a little bit of truth in it. There's a percentage of truth in everything. See what I'm saying? We who are waking up to the season we're living in have more truth than they do. So should we shut up? We should not shut up. We need to keep talking about it. And I know, sometimes you can just get too much talking. Just everybody just shut up and let my ears stop ringing. Let me concentrate. Let me think. Let me pray. Let me read. If you feel you need to do that now, shut me off. Just shut it off and go do that. This is all a soul search. If we still own our own souls, this is all a soul searching exercise. We need to know, are we right with our Creator? He's all truth. So the closer we get to the truth, the closer we get to the King, Jesus, and our Father, right? And how do we get there? The Spirit of truth. Who's the Spirit of truth? The Holy Spirit. So many of my blog posts point to the need for the Holy Spirit. We need the Holy Spirit. You cannot make it through this season without the Holy Spirit. When the Holy Spirit, comes, he will guide. Holy Spirit of Christ, am I missing a part there? When he comes, he will guide you into all truth. I'm sorry, you'll have to Google that. I don't know chapter number, verse number for that. But I believe, and I'm pretty sure Jesus said that. Like I said again, I got to dig out everything's all packed up in boxes. I got to get my Bible out. Because I can't access my phone app Bible while this is running. At least I don't think so. I think it might shut you all off if I do that. But when the Holy Spirit of Christ, the Holy Spirit of comes, he will guide you into all truth. I'm not good at Bible memory. I can't even remember why I was going to talk about Christian counseling. So anyway, those are the things that are on my mind this morning, this fine Saturday in Washington. I really like it up here. They have the same stuff in the skies here that they have everywhere else, though. Just letting you know. It was supposed to be a rainy day today. You can tell. It's pretty thick. Pretty thick. And it's not my fault, but I'd like to apologize to the people who are, not apologize, I guess, but send well wishes to those that are having flooding, because the moisture here is being taken away. And we all know moisture doesn't just disappear. It evaporates and goes somewhere else, if you get my drift. So it's sad what's happening with the weather. Very sad. But what the Lord reminded me the other day is up above all this crap, these clouds without water, there is still blue sky, there is still a firmament, and there is still a king and a God on the throne. Okay? So let me leave you with that encouragement. This world we live in doesn't have to be sad and dark. Even though we are constantly thinking about the evil in the world, we still have lives to live. We still have flowers to smell. We still have gardens to plant and jobs that we enjoy. Hopefully you enjoy your job if you don't get one that you do. We have yards that we can sit in and fire pits that we can sit around and friends and family. And, it's all still here. We have trees, beautiful trees we can look at, that reach their arms up to the sky, waiting for the Son of God. You know what I'm saying? It's still a beautiful world. It's God's world. It's just that we're living in a deceptive atmosphere. So let's try to stay focused on that. Okay. Well, that's it. That's all I got for today. Something to think about. This is the time of Great Tribulation, but it is not the Great Tribulation. It is a time of what's left over from the Great Tribulation. You know what I'm saying? So, again, thank you for joining me, and until next time, this is Lisa with Professing Christians.